our opponent, like I said, very, very tight. Usually in a jiu-jitsu environment, that's his first kind of train of thought in this position. And if you guys kind of ask yourself the questions, if you were here, you're pretty much trying to stop hooks in is the first thing you do. And then you're kind of worried about getting turned over. Because remember, especially with the points of jiu-jitsu, say I'm passing Young's guard and he gets the turtle here. As soon as the referee signifies that that's an advantage, because he's had to go to turtle, this is not a guard anymore. Okay, so now, just let me turn you over here, Young. Imagine I roll Young over and get him flat on his back here in side control. I get no points for this. This is nothing. Okay, I didn't pass his guard. I would only get points if I went straight to knee ride, mount, or if I got the hooks in from before. Okay, so he's much more likely in jiu-jitsu to stay really tight and worry about the hooks, because even if he gets rolled over, who cares? You don't get any points scored against him, now he just escapes from there. Especially if he's really comfortable in his escaping skills. And he's like, man, take me over, okay? I'll just sit in a little ball and just go up onto my back, I couldn't care less sort of thing. So this is going to be very, very common. So what we want to do is, we want to try and move him around just enough that we can open up a little bit of space to get a seatbelt grip. So I said, he's really tight. Sometimes I can't even get these arms through here. Yeah, so I'm going to start working on just trying to pull him around, push him around, move, and I might have to move my body just enough that, bang, I can get through to a seatbelt. When I get my seatbelt on top in turtle, I want my far side arm under the armpit. Okay, my near side one's my choking hand. I don't want to go this way. And when you do it, it's going to feel super weird. Not even if he rolls, he can literally just duck straight out underneath there, and he's on my back. I've got no underhook essentially, so this is my underhook. Remember, if I go this way, he's beating me to the underhook, and he's going to pop up to my back more than likely. Okay, so I want to be moving him around, opening up space, and then boom, I'm nice and tight on my seatbelt. With your seatbelt, whether you're on the back with the hooks or whether you're in turtle, try and have your grip over your own hand, not over your own wrist. Okay, and I'll touch on that in just a second. Really quickly, if you just posture up for 1 sec. If I've got my seatbelt here and I'm like that, it lets Young grab that wrist, so now he can start to stop me from choking. Whereas if I'm on top here, he has to fight the hand that's on top, which means I can still come in and attack. Okay, and a really common thing, you see people dangle this little bit of hand out here, and they're like, oh no, I can't attack still. Okay, so if you just do this right down the edge, it makes it very hard for him to attack that choking arm, which means he has to peel the one that's on top. Boom. Okay, that can be a really small little detail that makes a lot of difference in that position. So I move, he opens up, straight away I attack. Alright, so now from this position here, whichever arm is over the top, I'm going to put my shoulder on the back of his neck. So I've got my grip. I'm going to go basically perpendicular to him. So I'm pretty much going at a right angle to Young's body here. I'm going to get really tight with my shoulder and my head's going to come down, and I'm basically doing a roll, flipping Young over. Okay, I pretty much want to put enough neck pressure into him by driving his head down that it forces him to do a forward roll. That's the way that this technique works. Okay, so I'm not actually like turning him over with my underhook. Yep, so I'm here, I move, bang, I attach. I'm going to come around, shoulder pressure down, I'm looking at his hips, and I'm basically going to fall, pull him through. Okay, as that happens, get my hook in, or go into my body locks and things like that, and now I've got the back secured here. Okay, can I just borrow you, Ryan, for 1 sec? So Ryan's a different body type, obviously, to Young. So he's in turtle, he's nice and tight. I open up some space. Oh no, Ryan, what happened? Okay, so I open up some space, get to my back position here. So again, I come around, heavy, tuck your head in so you don't break your neck. Yep, I go here, and I flip him over. Okay, and then from there I start, if I need, I can take him to the other side. As I said, I can attack my triangles. I can start to clear arms. And then I can attack from there. Right, so let's just go through two common sort of things that we find with that technique. One being we can't flip him over, and one we sort of flip him over, but because we don't get the hooks in the roll, he gets back up to this position. So you kind of cover both of those, okay? So, same thing, I open up some space, boom, I get to my grip. Now, as I come around here, I'm tight. He might use his hands like Young's doing there to kind of push his weight back this way. And Young might have really good base, and I might not have the pressure on his head. If I insist, I'm probably going to fall, and then I'm going to get control here. Okay, and again, it wouldn't be points for Young, that's not a sweep, but now he's potentially in side control, maybe knee right mount, taking my back, all that sort of stuff. So I obviously don't want that to happen. So I come through here, and I feel Young starting to push all the way back. To do that, see, he has to create this little bit of space. Yeah, so as soon as I feel this in here, I'm going to throw my far side hook all the way over. Now I've got connection between his hip and this side of his shoulder. So now that I've got that, my other leg's just kind of tucked in. Now I'm going to fall to the side, bringing him onto me here, because that's not the way he was pushing. He was pushing this way, not this way. As soon as he lands here, kick my bottom leg through, and I've got my second hook in here. Okay, so I just take him in a slightly different angle. He's strong in this way here, but he's not strong in this way here now. So I'm here, open up, boom. I come around, he forces back. Yeah, so straight away, this leg throws over, boom. Throw my hook in here. Now I'm just going to sit over this corner, kick my hook in, and now I attach, and I'm starting to work on his back from here. Oh, actually, I'll do the other one as well while we're here, because we may as well cover both. So I'll just do that one more time. So here, and I'm on the back here. Now, if we can get him over, but we can't get the hook in. So here I get my good pressure, I flip him, but now when I get to here, he comes back up. Yeah, again, I don't want to stay here too long. If I stay here, it's more likely he's going to pop his head out, his shoulder gets his underhook, he starts to come up. Okay, so now I get him forward. As he pops up, I use that to climb up with him. And I'm going to try and throw that far side hook in. Okay, once I've got that, my other leg is tucked. I roll, using my hook. And now I can attack here, get my hooks in, body locks, all that sort of stuff here. Okay, so let's go. Open up, attack. Young comes with me, comes back up. I chase, step over. Okay, now I fall back down. If I want to keep rolling, I can. And then I can either go in all my body locks, arm traps, or I can get my hooks by getting, get my points by getting my hooks in. Set up now with our seatbelt grip here. So I mentioned previously that with this seatbelt, try not to get in the habit of grabbing the wrist, because again, it gives that little bit they can hand fight up there. Try and get in the habit of covering your own hand in this position here. Now, typically in, well, not just in no-gi, but usually we would say that the choking arm down is the strong side. This is the side that makes it harder for him to get his back to the mat and escape. Okay, if I go, if you're over there, Omar, you'll be able to see everything.
Yes, sir.
So when I'm here, if I go to like the weak side, historically, it's easier for him to slip this shoulder and get this shoulder down to the mat. He starts wiggling away, maybe he turns in, maybe I go on top, who knows. When I go to the other side, the historically strong side here, it's much harder to get that shoulder out because I've got better connection here, locking this shoulder from slipping down. Okay, so a lot of the time, we want to try and take the guy from this position here to this weak side here like this. Alright, now once we get to this position here, he's usually going to be hand fighting. Like I said, he's trying to pull the choke off, yeah, he's trying to defend. If I've done a good job at hiding my hand here, he'll only be on my forearm, not on my actual hand. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hand that's protecting my choking hand, I'm going to roll it so I can control his wrist. I like to, not even the wrist, I like to go on the meat just below the pinky finger. Okay, that's a little bit longer leverage than the wrist itself. Okay, if you think about his limb from being from fingertip to elbow, I want to try and get as close to the end as I can, but still being secure. Also keep in mind we can't do small joint manipulation. In competitions, in real life, we snap stuff off if we want. Okay, now you can hold all four fingers, that's okay. I can do this, but this sometimes slips off a little bit easier because I don't have quite as good a grip as if I get the meat here underneath his hand here. Alright, so I'm going to try and control that one hand, so now he's reduced to defending with just that one arm. Now from here, this is where sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do once I've done this, my choking hand is now going to take over on that hand. I'm going to 2-on-1 it. and I'm going to stretch it down. Because I should be stronger than Young here, pushing down with 2 hands, and he is hopefully holding up with 1. So in this position, and he's still hanging on to my other arm maybe, yep. So I'm going to try and stretch that one down so I can get my leg up, and I'm going to try and cross over his arm. Then I'm going to cross my feet up nice and high, not between his, like in between his legs and his groin. My feet cross down here, even with his arm trapped, he'll still footlock me more than likely. So when I do this little arm trap, so I was in this position here, I was in this position here, and he was hand fighting. So I roll through, and I get my 2-on-1, stretch, come up high, because you're probably going to slip down, and as you do it, start pinching this heel into his stomach, then lift this leg up. Okay, you want to be up nice and high, so when he's trying to footlock you, it's much harder for him to get his legs up than if you are between his legs down here. Okay, now that one arm's taken care of, he's still going to be trying to fight that choke. So now my now free hand is going to come over. I'm going to try and go hand over all 4 fingers if I can. So just hold your hand for 1 sec. I'm going to try and go between his thumb and his 4 fingers. If his thumb's in, I'm just going to go over the whole lot. Okay, but ideally we would get in this little grip here. So I'm trying to choke and Young's trying to defend. I'm going to relax a little bit so I get an angle. I'm going to squeeze his fingers so they become weaker. Now I come through deep. Once I feel my elbow underneath his chin, then I can let go of this hand, slide behind the head. Remember, I don't lock and then try and come back. I do this, he grabs my arm, I'm not going to be able to finish. So here I let go of the hand. Yep, so I had it, I peel it off. I get this in deep here, nice and tight, hang on to his shoulder blade. I come back, I slide my hand behind his head, then I put my hand through onto my bicep. Now I keep nice and tight, I'm going to squeeze. As I squeeze, I'm going to pull my elbow that's choking backwards, and I'm going to lift my lungs a little bit here. So I've got in my position here, I'm going that way. Okay, and I've got a nice position where he's only got one arm to defend, but by the time it's fully locked in here, very hard to defend. Okay, so we'll go one more time. I'll go this side so you can see the other side now. So now I'm on here, I'm protecting myself. I take him to my good side, so choking hand down. Weave through, push. Step up, high and tight, climb my leg and hook, so I can take my hand out and I've got this nice pinch on his arm. Feet are safe. Start trying to choke. He's going to try and defend. I relax enough so I can see his hand, squash it, push it down, come through nice and tight, hold onto his shoulder or something here if you need, your trap, whatever. Let go, behind the head first, lock it in place, get my grip. Now I'm going to squeeze and pull my elbow backwards. A really nice tight finish.